So I've had some beef with Justin Bonds. One-sided. I don't think he knows I exist, and that's fine. But he's always like, it's this weird thing I see with some of these creators where they'll tear apart other coins for some of the stuff that they're doing, but then when it comes to Solana, they just have a blind spot, or they make all these excuses for Solana. I don't really understand it. Let's see what he says. He goes, the top 50 blockchains by market cap, rated on scalability, governance, decentralization, and token distribution. So Algorand is not on here, which I think is interesting. It's by scalability. Well, I would think Algorand would be pretty high up there. Governance, decentralization, I guess. Token distribution, I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of people make super compelling cases for token distribution, but I don't really understand it. Well, first off, what is X? Okay, let's see what he says. Any chain that can exceed 1,000 TPS of theoretical max capacity gets a check mark. Okay, so Algorand should be on there, right? They should have hit this one, right? Governance, any chain that has a fully implemented on-chain governance that gets a check mark. Plans and half implemented systems do not count. But like, what does that mean exactly? Full isn't, what does fully implemented mean? For the sake of fairness, out of the chains that failed this check, 3 are still seriously pursuing on-chain governance as their sole ADA, and AVEX. But I don't know what fully implemented means. Like, do you want every single decision that's made on the blockchain made through governance? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, I think you really need to define terms here, but especially since you are defining terms, that would be a lot more like, I don't know, is Algorand count or not? Because it seems weird to say like fully. Well, what does fully mean? There's so many different ways you could take that. Like, how much is appropriate? And do we want, is that a good thing? Like, I've said this all along. Like, I don't know anything. I don't know nearly enough about the technical side of a blockchain to make decisions for that. And I think I know a little bit more than the average person. So you're going to have all these people that have no idea what they're doing, making all these like really fundamental changes. Like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So this is why, like, governance should be for like certain things, I think, but I don't think full governance or full decentralization is necessarily a good thing. And also, aren't these kind of like interconnected? Like, isn't governance part of decentralization? Essentially, this is decentralization. This is far too complex to measure so simply. So in this case, I went with the lowest possible bar, permissionlessness. Now that's fair. I think that's actually a good bar, because one of my big problems with Gala is like there's so much gatekeeping on Gala. One thing I thought was really funny. So I made this Gala video. Really, I really took it to Gala, and then the price went up a little bit, and everyone's like, "Oh, this aged well, huh?" Or someone was like, "Oh, didn't you lose like a bunch of money because they assumed I sold it all?" I'm like, "No, I've got like a ton of Gala on Gala's centralized system, and guess what? All of a sudden it doesn't work and I can't get anything off of it. The password, which I made note of, that worked before, suddenly doesn't for no reason, and I can't get it. I got a bunch of Gala that I won from playing Townstar, and I can't get it off. It's stuck there. So it does me zero good. So when you say like permissionlessness, yeah, that's a problem. So I agree with that one. Token distribution. Went with another simple metric here. Any chain that has less than 50% of the supply owned and controlled by the founders gets a pass. So let's see. People have told me they thought SWI had bad tokenomics, but that would be pretty good under this. So Algorand would hit this one too. What one was Algorand hit? It would definitely hit decentralization. So it would be 3 out of 4, I would say. Maybe 3.5 out of 4. Maybe 3. Maybe 4. It depends on whether you count that as fully implemented, because they're changing it all the time. I can't even. Oh, here we go. So conclusion: nothing is perfect or unique, as you can see from this list. And that single chain passed all the checks or stood on its own in a single category. This definitely makes some of the quasi-religious tribalism in the space all the more insane. Well, I agree with that. This is why I take a pluralist approach, by never exclusively aligning myself to a single blockchain ecosystem. Yeah, except kind of Solana, that you constantly make apologies for. But besides that, fair enough. Yeah, this drives me nuts because, like, well, I made a video about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about how Algorand was better than Solana at this one thing. And someone commented and they're like, yeah, that's a great that's a great way to that's done really well to improve adoption for Algorand. And I said like, well, what? I'm sorry. When did I say that my stated goal was to increase adoption for Algorand? And the person was just flabbergasted. They couldn't like respond. And I'm like, yeah, that's not my point here. When I talk about Algorand and I talk about the good qualities of it, it's because I see the good qualities of it. I also talk about the bad qualities of it. I talk about the fact that its price action sucks and has sucked. I talk about that it was a completely botched launch. Okay. My goal is not to increase adoption of Algorand. It's to bring you the truth as I see it about crypto. Okay. So when I talk about this stuff, like, yeah, I'm coming from a place of wanting to understand this myself. Because one thing that's always baffled me from day one is I see this coin Algorand, this blockchain, and I've been using it. I've been using it the whole time, and I think, well, this actually works. When I tried to do stuff on Ethereum, it'd be like, it just seemed like super bad. I don't know how else to put it. So cumbersome to try to do anything on Ethereum. It's such a pain in the butt. And when I bought my Townstar NFT, I had to use the Ethereum blockchain, and I when I bought the NFT, I bought it, packed up my stuff, drove to did jujitsu, drove back, and like 10 minutes later after I got back, which by the way, it's like my jujitsu class is like a half hour away. By the time I got back, so this was like hours later, it finally like went through. That would have been seconds on Algorand. So yes, I think it's weird that it's not on this list as much as like AVAX would be. I mean, yeah, nothing got 4. Atom didn't do so well on scalability. It is a little expensive. I can see that. Sui is definitely scalable. It's definitely is it fully governance? I like Sui a lot, but is it in token distribution? Yeah, that's what I was saying, that it should match that. Oh no, token distribution it doesn't like, but it's less than 50% that go to the founders or VCs. Unless they're just talking about release, like it's not released yet. Is that what you mean? Maybe. But that's just a matter of time. Like when I see people say the tokenomics are bad, well, you just mean that it's not far enough along that you trust it or something. Like that's a different thing. Like obviously it's a new coin, so it's going to take a while for all the coins to come out. But people say, well, oh, there's barely any supply released yet. It's like, yeah, well, it's brand new. It's been out for like a year. Disclosure Crypto says, haven't you heard about Gary Network? No, I haven't heard about Gary Network, and I don't really use much on Solana, so I don't do a lot in the Solana ecosystem. But I'm like really not that interested in a Web3 streaming platform. Hey, we got another subscriber. 11 away, guys. We're 11 away. Can we get to 4,000? Probably not, because I'm probably going to wrap up soon. Yeah, what did someone try to get me into? Oh, Warpcast. Someone was trying to get me into Warpcast when I was talking about how much I hate Twitter. Not that I think it's, by the way, just to be clear, I don't think it's like Elon's fault. I just think there's something about Twitter that makes people go crazy. I know this might be fun. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Let's try to get those subscribers up to 4,000. I want to hit it today. I want to hit it, but let's look at this. Hey, Catlin Guzman, welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. Road last. Says your Gala might not work because of the fork that Gala had. They had a short time limit to migrate your old Gala to the new Gala. Yes, that is true. However, it was the new Gala. It was the Gala. It was the Gala that I had won pretty recently playing Townstar. Oh yeah, by the way, another thing that didn't work is the town coin that they got rid of. Like you were supposed to be able to migrate that. For months I tried it and it never worked. I could not get it to work. It was so frustrating. It was just one of the most frustrating things. Like their platform just sucks. And they're gonna have to face the fact that their platform just sucks. Oh, I think I figured out why it's got the little I see your icons have a little YouTube subscriber thing in my interface, because that means you're coming from YouTube, because you can stream to other platforms, which I want to like start doing. I actually do have a Rumble, believe it or not. Maybe that'll get my video tanked. I don't know. Just in case, you never know. Some of these platforms, they'll be like, oh, we don't like that thing you did, so we're gonna remove you. So just in case. Oh, someone unsubscribed to me. Well, I don't know if we're gonna hit 4,000 today, guys, but we can look at some cool stuff. So yeah, I had some real problems with Gala for a lot of reasons. But that's why, like, it's better with this stuff isn't permission. it isn't permission. Like you want it to be permissionless instead of like having this like walled in ecosystem that but this is one of my criticisms of Web3 gaming too. It's like, yeah, you can own the asset, but the company can like decide to nerf it in the game and like it does you no good. So what's the difference? Okay, I thought this was I haven't looked at this actually. I have no idea if this is interesting or not. But this is from Miles Dutcher. He has some interesting stuff here. Once in a while, he says there was a lot of valuable crypto alpha posted on X this week, but it can be tricky to find amidst all the noise. I compiled the top 10 alpha tweets I read this week, so you don't have to. Why there's so much disagreement on as to where we are in the cycle. Tweet of the week, in my opinion. Let's see what he says. Part of the reason there's so much disagreement regarding where we are cyclically is because returns have been so unevenly distributed. That's true. Additionally, a lot of the previous cycle signposts has been absent or entirely invalid. The conventional risk curve trade of BTC, ETH, large caps, mid caps, SRs has been unprofitable. Barbell portfolio BTC plus memes has dominated. ETH Bitcoin has been remarkably weak, whereas historically it has benefited from a risk-on environment. This has spilled over into ETH L1, L2 proxy trades being suboptimal. Crypto as a casino thesis has been captured by meme coins on Sol versus previous casinos cycles. Casino was NFTs on ETH. Yeah, I could see that. I haven't been following these meme coins on Sol too much, but I'm like at least proximally aware of it. Meme coins have been consistently leading. That's what I've been saying, guys. Don't underestimate the meme coins. Yes, they're stupid and they seem to pump where others don't. Why? I don't know. Meme coins have been consistently leading, and rotating from that sector has been costly, whereas memes pumping has historically been an indicator of being late in the cycle. Bitcoin hasn't offered a series of previously standard bull market pullbacks of 30-40%. This has created a bunch of early sellers, sideline traders. Also led to a proliferation of left truncated cycle discourse, shorter cycle, super cycle, and other heterodox variants. I don't really know what that left truncated cycle discourse. I don't know what that means. They're just saying like the left has been destroying. Is he talking from a partisan perspective? I'm not sure what he means by that. There are so many new tokens amplified by meme coins that crypto bull market no longer means everything that's listed goes up for weeks, months. The rising tide has not lifted all boats, and there are very clear winners versus losers. Agreed. And they've broadly stayed the same. No massive rotations. ETH Eco L1 plus L2 trade been weak relative to Sol for ages, with exceptions. Taking all this into account, it's entirely plausible that you have trader A who rode BTC, Sol, and other memes and feels like stuff is hot and needs to cool off, whereas trader B has barely made any money and feels like stuff hasn't picked up yet. That would be us Algorand folks, right? I laugh because it hurts. Everything in between. We all have different portfolios, trading styles, time horizons, risk appetite, volatility, tolerance, and a bunch of other stuff. Most of crypto Twitter thinks crypto will go up and to the right over time. We just agree about the fine print. Be kind and chill out. Actually, I think a really good point to all this is diversification. I really cringe when I hear people have all their stuff in one coin. I heard a statistic that really brought this home. You can decrease 80% of the downside risk of your investment by diversifying with 12 or more assets. 80%. And that's not necessarily, that's just in general, not necessarily just crypto. So like, in other words, buying 12 stocks, that diversification decreases your potential downside by 80%. Or I shouldn't say potential downside, because the potential is always 100%, right? But it decreases the general, your average downsize, I think is what they said. Should clarify that. Yeah, he's got some other ones. Why AI is this cycle's crypto gaming. Some valuable insights on the low float, high FDV predicament. I don't know what that means. Lessons learned from meme coin traders to the opposite. Meme coin traders are, let's see what he says. Let's value it. Meme coin traders are the most emotional traders in any market. Here's why. They ate 50% of their port in every play. They never sell. Yeah, definitely gotta sell. They get swayed by their favorite influencer's opinion. Sorry, I feel a little funny reading that one, but I don't really tell you guys to go buy stuff, to be fair. Their decision making is often based on FOMO. True. They form emotional attachments to specific coins. I've been telling you guys, don't do that. The whole point I just made, the whole point I just made about how like my goal isn't to increase adoption of Algorand or Hedera or anything. Like my job is just to cover this stuff and try to like figure it out. And I think a lot of the big crypto YouTubers that I see, like I don't see anyone that like I think has really figured it out. Other than like when they give you the basics, like diversify, and when you're in profit, like Crypto Wendio talks about this. She talks about when you're up, you start taking some profit and lock, that prevents losses. If I'm up 100%, so say I buy, well, right now I am at 50% up or 100% up on Bitcoin, right? So I've locked some as well. I've locked some wins in. In fact, my near right now, I have a moonbag position on near. If I went to zero tomorrow, I'd be in the profit. That's important. So when they say they never sell, yeah, you absolutely should sell. They act impulsively. They hold on to losing positions, hoping that prices will recover. And that kind of depends. That actually kind of depends on timing. But I see a lot of people, speaking of acting impulsively and FOMO, I see a lot of people aping in when coins are like at all-time highs. That is like, you shouldn't be touching them at that point. If you didn't already buy in, you missed it. Okay. They often have a herd mentality, following the crowd rather than their own analysis. Probably true. Some of these, it depends if you mean short term or long term, though, right? Because I think there's some coins like there's definitely it's definitely a legit strategy. If you were just going to say buy Bitcoin and hold on to it for like 10 years, you're just not going to touch it. You'll be up overall. You'll be up, you'll be down, but over the long run, you'll be up. So you shouldn't do that with like meme coins because they could be gone tomorrow, right? Oh, this guy used TA, so like I immediately don't like you. I'm sure he's fine. FTM thesis. Reminder that sometimes the best trade is no trade. You don't always have to be in a trade. Best trade of the past month plus was likely no trade for most people. Fair. A narrative mindset now versus start of the year. I don't know. What's the chart though? Like, what does this mean? What are these percentages? Is this like percentage of your portfolio where you think it should be? I kind of get the sense that that's what that is. So people are more bullish on AI, more bullish on meme, a little less on DeFi, a little less on ETF, I think. Or is that just the narrative? I don't know what that means. Does he say more? Let me see. What are the numbers from? And measure of social dominance of the narrative. Okay, so there's doing some kind of social graphing, it sounds like. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to share something like this, you got to explain it. It's one of my little pet peeves when people don't, they just share something like this that is definitely not self-apparent what this means, and then they do nothing to explain it. How to potentially profit from the AI trade this month. Good overview of the top coins. I guess we can look at that. Oh, Catlin says Sauce Inu is up heavy this week. We actually looked at Sauce earlier. My premise was that it's one of the few. Unlike most ASAs, the Sauce did not follow the ASA curve. I know it's not an ASA, it's on Hedera, but I'm just saying, like, because even Osmosis kind of had that same curve. So I thought it was interesting. Okay. How to profit from AI coins this month. I'll cover AI Catalyst, my tokens affected by the Catalyst, my personal picks. Dive in for real alpha, spelled with an F. NVIDIA earnings on May 22nd. ChatGPT 4 Omni announcement May 13th, which is awesome. But I don't know if you guys heard, for anyone who didn't hear me before, like I tested out ChatGPT 4.0 because it lets you briefly check it out. It's unbelievable. Okay, I'm back. Also, the Google I/O conference on May 14th, Apple focus on AI at WWDC, and ChatGPT 4 launch at the end of June, maybe. Does he mean 5? Isn't 4 already out? Or is it like, I don't understand what that means. Anyway, the tokens he's talking about are Wild, main proxy for OpenAI due to association with Sam Altman. Oh, this is WorldCoin. Yeah, okay. Olus, 2023 favorite AI agent coin that has since kind of disappeared, although they're very active on Gnosis chain. Spec and Fat, Ajax, Ocean, and ASA. These coins are very richly valued now. They aren't leading AI runs anymore, which makes me believe upside is capped for now. And his picks is Render. I think Render is really interesting. Render is one of the easiest longs heading into NVIDIA related news, and then Apple News also outperformed Bitcoin massively over the last year. NVIDIA, due to comparisons of GPU networks, and Apple, due to rendering software they have built that Apple always features at different keynotes. Hence, I think it would be a good swing trade leading up to WWDC time period. By the way, Render is like the coin for this company that allows you to rent out space on your GPU or rent out compute power on your GPU so you can make money with your GPU while it's not in operation. I think it's a great idea. So when I build my new PC stack, um, I might play around with that a little bit. AR fully diluted coin pivoted to AI with the launch of AO Computer. Chad team, Chad team. Is this like red? Is this like red pill now or what? Tier one exchange listings, a no-brainer medium-term hold, biggest AI coin holding currently. And then Near Protocol. I love Near Protocol. I heard some not so good stuff about it lately, but it's like pumping again. I won't reiterate it. Smaller position they are due to more limited upside, but could become one of the consensus AI trades of this cycle due to its brand value, good liquidity, and innovations over in other sectors such as chain abstraction. Do I still have? Yes, I do. Hold on a second. Let me just pull this up because for whatever reason I didn't look at Near. As you know, that'll just take a second to load. So over a year, it is up 371%. So not as good as Solana, but it's done pretty well. Now, a lot of mine I bought kind of around here. I think it's like 114 or 121, somewhere around there. So yeah, my near bag has done really, really well. I just wish I'd put more into it, but that's always the case, isn't it? But does he really say, is Near really an AI coin? I didn't really know much about that. I don't remember that being the case. Yeah, Near Protocol is a layer one blockchain that was designed as a community run cloud computing platform. Oh, okay. And that eliminates some of the limitations that have been bogging competing blockchains, such as low transaction speeds, low throughput, and poor interoperability. So probably the community run cloud computing platform. That's probably what he's talking about. Interesting. TLDR, focus on AI coins during this period, a big catalyst. Avoid coins with predatory tokenomics and inflated FTVs. Focus on quality projects with good teams, sustainable tokenomics, and working product. Of course, none of this is financial advice. Yeah. I just want to see how people reacted here. This is an incredible thesis. Whoa. Seems like an odd point E. Do you mean Chat GPT 5? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like 4's been out a long time. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Were there any other interesting ones? Catalyst cheat sheet. Parabola phase of the bull market beginning. Some hopium to cap off your week. All right, let's take a look at this. 2013, 2017, 2024. Is this where we are in 2024? I don't know. Well, let's hope, right? We all hope. Oh boy. Overfresh says Solana is just terrible and no crypto is better than Algorand. Yep, except for price, right? And that sucks. By the way, Overfresh, welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Solana. I do not love Solana. Philip Riley says facts. Yeah, I mean the thing is like Solana, for some reason it pumps in price. Why? I don't know. We just showed like the whole supply chain or the whole supply inflation seems to have nothing to do with price. It's just completely uncorrelated. Otherwise we'd see some overlap, right? Refresh is true. I'm assuming you're talking about the price thing.